Hi everyone, welcome to the CueSoc 2017 Straight Pool, also known as 14.1 competition final. Today you have Kenneth Huang and myself, Jennie Bian, commentating for you.
Hello everyone. So, for all of you who do not know or aren't familiar with 14.1, or also known as straight pool, what it technically is it's kind of like your standard 8-ball pool, except you don't. I don't know. There's no straps or solids. You pot any ball you want, and the main goal is to pot as many balls as you can, and obviously consecutively, so you don't give your opponent a chance to go on the table to pot balls as well. So as you can see here, Grant racked up. As you can see that the 8 isn't in the middle. A lot of people might be not used to seeing that at all, because for straight pool it doesn't matter. It's just balls are balls.
Yep. And basically each ball is a point. And so you can see that Grant here actually went for a bit of a safety break here, not really giving Chris a shot to start, although the floor's pretty open.
Yeah, so the format for today will be race to 80 points. So that'll be 80 balls, and it's core pockets. So whatever ball they want to get in, if they want it to be valid, they have to make sure they let the other player know which pocket they're pocketing the ball in and which ball it is. Very interesting though. So fun fact.
Just to give a bit of an introduction to the competitors, we have Christopher Dam, who's on the table now, just coming off the table, just played a bit of a safety shot. He's a UNSW student. He studies a double degree in commerce and law. In the commerce side, he's majoring in finance, and he's actually the former president of the Poker Society at UNSW. And Grant, who is the other competitor, he's the one in the salmon-coloured polo shirt today. He is also a UNSW student studying actuarial studies, and he was also involved with university societies. He was the founder and former president of the Rubik's Cube Society.
Wow, so two former presidents battling it out in a CueSoc final. Right, so Chris calls, I believe, the 1 ball? Oh, the 11 ball in the corner, to try to break things out, and if he gets it, he would have had a shot on the 7 into side. Fortunately though, he did leave the cue ball close to the balk end of the cushion, so this leaves Grant with a very, very tough shot if Grant does decide to be a bit more aggressive on this. Yep, so key shot here, well played. Now, I can't really tell from my angle here, but I don't think he has a shot. Yeah, he doesn't have a shot. So very unlucky for Grant to not give himself a decent chance of putting a few more balls here. But nevertheless, still 1 ball.
1 point?
1 point.
A point's a point.
Yep. A point can make the difference of whether you win or not. I mean, today we had a match in the first round where it actually came down to the wire. The final score was, for the first round it was race to 60. Finals, obviously, we make it race a bit higher, a bit more, so it's race to 80 for the finals. But for the first round, there was actually one match between Will Yuan and Philip Zhang, where it was 59 to 60 Will's way.
So 1 point difference.
Wow. This is why potting that 1 extra ball can make a difference of whether you win or actually lose.
Yep.
Oh, great shot by Chris there. Opened up the pack. Now he'll have a lot more balls that are open up to get as many points as he can. That's the most important thing. Try to not make too many small unforced errors, and try to maximize those points. Although 5 is the easy shot to take here, he didn't really like it because he is a left-handed player, and it was a bit of a stretch for him, so he would prefer the black into the side. Great shot. Alright, well, he kind of left himself the 13. Probably roll forward for the 3. Now, the thing with straight pool is, a rule that many of you might wonder is, well, what happens if you pot all the balls, right? Well, what happens is you actually don't pot all the balls. So both players keep potting until there's one ball left on the table. Now, when there's one ball left on the table, what happens is you re-rack the balls without the head ball being there. And the head ball is the ball at the top of the triangle. So a lot of players, so you'll leave the last ball still on the table and the cue ball stays on the table too. And so the most key thing many experienced straight pool players would do is try to leave themselves a good angle on the last ball to
facilitate their break.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when they do pot the ball, they also break into the pack, and so they can continue their run. So you see that very shortly. If very, very close. Just missed that by a tiny bit. Right. So this brings Grant another chance on the table to get a few more points. So current score is Chris is on 11 and Grant is on 1. So
And the highest run so far has been by Chris, where he just ran 10 consecutive balls.
Yeah, 10 balls in a row. Yep, so it's crucial that Grant leaves himself a good angle on this 14 ball. Ooh. Yeah, well, that's not the angle I was talking about, but yeah, so as you can see, you leave the last ball on the table just like that. You start re-racking. And once again, doesn't matter the order of the balls. And so, yep, head spot of the rack. You just ignore it, and you continue from there.
So this break will be a bit difficult for Grant, I think, unless for him to come back and break open the pack. So he might go for another safety break.
Yeah, definitely safety.
Which is exactly what
where's
he
the
did.
cue ball going? Where's the cue ball going? Very unlucky. Very unlucky. So this gives Chris Dam a ball in hand. Now, the 2 ball is open. Pardon? Yeah, it's ball in hand. Yeah. So Chris will be looking to give himself a nice angle to just go into the pack while potting the 2 ball. So as you can see here, very crucial. This will give him a very good chance of potting a lot more balls. There you go.
Nicely done.
Very nice, very nice. Bit unfortunate that the 6, 7, and 11 ball are tied up. If he wants to pot everything, he would definitely need to look into breaking those up. But other than that, he's a bit unfortunate as well that the cue ball just stuck to the bottom rail. This makes things a lot harder. So I believe he caught the 10 ball in the top left-hand pocket.
And just some interesting facts here, actually, for straight pool.
Oh, what a shot.
I think the world record for straight pools in terms of consecutive balls in a row is actually 526 consecutive balls by Willie Mosconi. So I think that's the highest record.
Yes, that is.
To date.
Yes.
Kenneth, what's your highest?
My highest? Well, it's definitely not 526, but my highest was 15. That was when I played it in the... When was our last one? I think it was semester 1 of 2016.
Might have been.
Yeah.
I think Chris's highest is roughly 20, and I think Grant's highest is also roughly 15. But just to disclaim something here, because straight pool is a bit of a niche game, not many of our CueSoc members actually play straight pool very frequently, so these stats on our players and the highest breaks are not necessarily an accurate representation of the players' skill levels. For example, Chris Dam, when he plays snooker, I think his highest break was 87 or something, so bit of discrepancy there.
What a beast.
What a beast.
What a beast. Right, so Chris, with that wonderful shot on the 10, he continues his run here. He actually has a really good opportunity to go into the pack. Yeah, there you go. Very nice shot, very nice shot. Well controlled. Now he'll definitely have a very good chance of cleaning the rest of these balls up. So the total number of balls in a rack is 15. So yeah, I think there's around 1, 2, 3, 4, 9 balls left on the table. Grant still has only potted 1 ball. There's a second rack, so if Chris pots everything, he'll be on 29, I believe. Or 28, I'm sorry, because he'll be leaving 1 ball left on the table as well. Yeah, so for my experience, when I played the straight ball comp, a lot of the times when I have such an open table is I usually don't play any shots with power. You see, like, you just push it in, because when you play a shot with power, you force it in, and the chances of it going in is a lot lower than it should be. And the last thing you want to do is give your opponent a chance on an open table and and catch up to the points you already earned. So you'll rarely see Chris Dam or Grant play a lot of forced shots or any powered shots, unless it was for breaking up the pack or anything. Minimize the error of chances of missing the ball.
Yeah. I've seen Chris Dam play pool quite a bit.
Very good shot.
And from my experience, Chris Dam doesn't really play many hard shots in general, irrespective of what game it is. Maybe it's based off his snooker experience, his snooker background. So he's not really one of those players that would play very many hard shots. He likes to play natural position, soft shots, logical pattern play.
This is actually the first time I've seen Chris Dam play straight ball. Yeah, interesting. Grant was the finalist of the last straight pool comp as well. So I'd say very consistent, because he's able to reach 2 finals consecutively for straight pool. So well done to Grant. Hopefully he can convert it into a win this time.
Yeah, I'm rooting for him.
For sure. Right, so Chris has a very good angle on the 4 ball here, to just stun it down, play it with a lot of power, and break him in the pack and continue his run once again. What a shot this would be. What a shot. Great shot, great shot. Now he's opened up some balls, not all of them. It's still pretty bunched up into the middle. But, he can just slowly take it apart and pot whatever goes in. Chris definitely has the ability to do that, so yeah. Great shot. He has the 12. Very good opportunity here.
The semester is almost coming to an end, Kenneth. We're in week 9 next week.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's crazy. So, and it's September. Oh my god. So the semester is almost coming to an end, but we still have some CueSoc events that are upcoming. I'll just run through some of those events while we talk now. So we have a social pool coming up on the 30th of September. That's a Saturday of the mid-semester break for most university students. We also have pool party the following day on the 1st of October, Sunday, which is the mid-semester break as well. And then after that, we have our most popular competition, which is the 8-ball competition. Everyone loves playing that. It's actually a great event.
Yeah.
It's on the 7th of October, and it's a Saturday. And that's roughly week 10 for most university students, depending on the university that you go to.
Yep.
And following that, we have another social pool for the 21st of October. It's a Saturday, roughly week 12 for most universities.
Yeah, awesome. Be sure to look out for the sign up forms, and be sure to sign up with your friends.
And don't forget, for the competitions, CueSoc has introduced a new initiative where if it's your first time entering into a competition or a CueSoc competition, your entry is on us. It's free. We just want you to come and have a good time and enjoy the experience.
Yeah. And also for those who do not own their own cue, we also have a free cue raffle that all you need to do is just join the competition. And obviously if you get knocked out or something unfortunate happened to you where you just unfortunately eliminated, what happens is in all our competitions we'll still have tables opened up for you to at least have a hit on and still have a practice or still socialize with other players who may have been unfortunate as well.
So it's excellent value.
Yeah, excellent value. And ultimately, you get a chance to win a free cue. So all you need to do is sign up, play the comp, and play with a house cue as well. And if you do all those things, you'll be eligible for the cue raffle. And we have a pool roulette game, a guessing game, I should say, for you to have a chance to win it. It's very interactive, very fun. And you get to, I guess you meet people as well, because we'll be calling up random members, random team members to do the breaks as well. So very fun.
Yeah, and it's obviously, I think we mentioned this in previous commentary, but obviously if you haven't seen that, that's fine. It's our way for CueSoc to give back to our newer players, and we want to be able to support inexperienced players and people who are just starting out with the game. And that's our way of trying to encourage you to play, because entry is free. You get a chance of winning a free cue. Honestly, we just want you to come and have a good time.
Yeah, that's the most important thing, having a good time. Right, so Chris is in a bit of a predicament here. I think he's looking to go into the 7 and use a cue ball to go into the 9. Ooh, very good effort, very good effort. Bit unfortunate. That was a very advanced shot. Almost put it off, I'd say. But very good attempt by Chris there.
So Grant is back on the table now. And we have some stats right now. So right now, Chris's highest run has become 24. So it was 10 previously, but after that run, that's 24. So when we said earlier that Chris's highest run is roughly 20, he's on 24 now. Let's see. We'll count today. We'll count and see what his highest run is today. And he's had one perfect rack, which basically means he ran
15 balls in a row.
Damn.
Without missing a single shot.
Chris, damn.
Chris, damn.
And the scores at the moment are 14.
No. So we'll be adding up the scores for you very soon, because we have another team member to help us calculate the score, because obviously we're commentating, so we can't really count the scores for them. But we'll provide you guys with the score very soon when it is added up. Well, it's pretty obvious that Chris is definitely in the lead here by a large margin. But if Grant plays his shots correctly, I'm pretty sure he will have an opportunity to catch up as well.
Yeah, because Grant is definitely a very experienced player, so I think there's definitely an opportunity for him to catch up. So both players shouldn't let their guards down. And for those of you, we have an update on the score. So right now, Chris is on 34 and Grant is on 6. So Chris has quite a significant lead.
Quite a lead of 28. Whoa, very unlucky, very unlucky. So cue ball scratched. And the 9 didn't go to the pocket that Grant called. So what happens when a ball gets pocketed but it wasn't caught in the correct pocket? It is respotted. So what happens is you pick up the ball back and put it back on the the dot, which should be on the second diamond. So that's exactly what Chris did. He put the 9 ball back on the spot. So we continue. Also, an interesting thing about straight pool is every time you foul, you actually lose a point. So what constitutes as a foul? Well, scratching the cue ball, accidentally tapping the ball, no rail after first contact, all of those.
Short fouls.
Yep. All of those constitute as fouls, and every time you foul, you lose a point. So you definitely want to minimize the amount of fouls, because not only are you giving your opponent a ball in hand, you're also losing a point for fouling, and you definitely don't want to be losing points. Since a point can make the difference of winning or losing, like we said before. Great shot by Chris. Definitely another opportunity to clear this all up, and might even get another perfect rack.
We'll see. We'll be counting. Our CueSoc team members will be counting. Chris Dan was actually my team member for CueSoc League. He and I played in league together this semester.
How'd you guys go in finals day, which was last Sunday, I believe?
Yeah, well, actually, before we talk about the finals day, for those who aren't very familiar with CueSoc League, we'll just give a quick rundown of what it is. So CueSoc League is one of our staple CueSoc events. What it is it's an 8-week season, similar to any other league, and you play in teams of 3. Scoring points, basically trying to play other teams and win. And at the end of the 8-week season, there's a ladder that comes out that ranks all the teams consecutively. And then at the end, there's a finals day where you play off. It's almost like a single day event. The finals day, it's a bit different, a bit separate from the 8-week season.
Yeah, and so with the CueSoc League, the scoring system is a little different as well. You actually get points for just getting balls in. So you don't necessarily, don't earn any points if you just lose the game against, sometimes you might be playing a player who's considerably better than you, but you can still definitely earn points and, still contribute to winning the match.
Exactly, and that's why CueSoc League is a really great way to actually ease into the more competitive side of pool, if that's what you're interested in doing, or even if you're not, like just having a good time and playing across an 8-week season, bonding with your friends, meeting new people as well,
and
also
to improve.
looking to improve. And also the CueSoc League is handicapped. So what that basically means is that each player is given a handicap based on their I would say experience level, and so that evens out the playing field for all players. So even if you're a completely new player, there's still an opportunity to do really well in the CueSoc League because of the handicap system. So that's just a quick intro of what the CueSoc League is. And we had the league finals day last week where Kenneth and I both played. We were on different teams. Chris, obviously, as I mentioned earlier, it was on my team. How was it for you, Kenneth?
Well, I actually had a very tough first round, I'd say, because we had to play the minor premiers first round. So for those of you who do not know what that is, minor premiers is the team who actually came first throughout the whole overall ladder. So all 8 weeks, they performed the best. So another way you can kind of see it is they're pretty much just a very, very strong, solid team to be able to consistently perform that well over 8 consecutive weeks. So congratulations to Jason Dye at jasondye.jasondye.
That was the team name.
That's the team name. So the team members, obviously Jason Dye, the man himself, Richard Zhang and Sunil Kim. Congratulations to them for taking home the minor premiers. So I had to play them first round. It was a very tough first round. But ultimately pulled through, all thanks to my team member Wai-Sing, who improved drastically throughout the season.
Yeah, he really did. Which really goes to show the spirit of CueSoc League, because you can start as a very inexperienced player and improve dramatically over the 8-week season. So good on Wai-Sing, good on your team.
Thank you. How did your team go?
We actually went alright. It's funny that you say that, because on the CueSoc League finals day, I actually made lunch plans at 2 p.m. because I knew that I was playing a very strong team in the second round. So we got past the first round, and then for the second round we were playing a very strong team. The team is called Team Michelle, and
They came second in the overall ladder.
Yeah, they came second in the minor premiership ladder, and it consists of Ka Wang Tan, Michelle, Lee, and Will Yuan. So I knew I was playing them in the second round. So I actually made lunch plans for 2 p.m. But we ended up
That fell through.
that fell through. We ended up winning that one. I made my first run out during that match too, which is a bit of an accomplishment. Felt kind of good, but also
Definitely an accomplishment. Definitely.
Yeah, because
First
I
one
don't.
always feels the best.
Yeah, so that was interesting. And then we ended up playing relatively well. Obviously, for those who are watching the match, you can see how strong of a player Chris Dam
What a
is.
shot that was.
So I was very fortunate to have him on my team.
Yeah.
And then we played you in the finals.
Oh,
Kenneth,
yeah,
your
that's
team,
right.
my team, we played each other in the
our
finals.
team in the finals.
Yeah.
I'd say that was definitely a very close match between us. It came down to the final Scotch doubles.
I think so, yeah. The final Scotch doubles.
Yeah, it was a very, very close match. Both teams were very strong. I'd say that we only kind of beat you guys barely because Chris Dam wasn't performing how he was in the previous rounds because he actually made a total of 6 breaking runs / runouts throughout the duration of that day.
Yeah, that day.
Day alone. Now, an interesting statistic for all of you guys who probably don't know, but throughout the course of the 8 weeks, the most runouts or break runs a player has made throughout the 8 weeks was 4. But Chris alone, on that day of finals day, made 6.
Yeah,
He was
my
playing
teammate.
ridiculously well.
Yeah. He played ridiculously well. I think in the finals when our team was playing your team. This is another thing about pool that I think is quite an interesting thing because I think pool is one of those sports that it's a mental game as well. So a lot of it is just you competing with your own mentality, and I think towards the end of it, our teammates were actually really tired because the finals day is a really, really long day. It starts at like
10,
and by the time we played finals, it was
like
4 p.m.
Yeah.
So it was a really long day. We were really exhausted. And I think in a way like that got to us a little bit. Obviously not making excuses for our poor performance. Yeah, not trying to excuse our poor performance, but I definitely think we were all a bit tired. And you guys played amazingly well. So you guys definitely deserve that win. Congratulations to your team.
Thank you very much, Jenny.
That's all right.
Congratulations for taking second place as well. You guys also get a lot of fantastic prizes.
Yeah.
For coming second as well. So congratulations to you guys for making it that far as well.
Thank you. Let's see how Chris is going.
Yep, so he's going to take this 11 down to the top left-hand corner. Good shot. Now he's got the 1. And naturally, the cue will go in and run into the 15 and the 3 ball. And hopefully leave himself a shot on the 4. Just like that. He probably hit it a bit harder than he would have wanted, but with Chris's skill level, I don't see an issue here. One difference I see between Chris Dam and Grant right now is it's quite evident that Chris Dam is a lot stronger in stringing balls together. So he's not making too many silly mistakes. He's making sure that he's getting the pots in and is able to string it with the next rack.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah. And the other thing that I'm noticing here is that I think both players, their mentality when approaching this game is a little bit different right now, because you can definitely tell that Chris has a higher degree of confidence when playing right now. He's playing a lot more aggressively than I would say Grant is. I think Grant is taking a more reserved approach when playing.
Passive.
Yeah, he's a bit more passive when he's playing this match right now. Maybe that's because he's a bit affected by his confidence levels, because obviously if Chris is taking such a strong lead, he'd be a bit conscious about the choices that he's making. So you can tell when he's doing his breaks earlier, most of his breaks were more safety breaks, whereas Chris's breaks are a bit more aggressive.
Yeah.
He'd go for bigger breakout of the balls. And this is an opportunity for Grant to shine. Really rooting for him here.
Yep, he'll definitely need to try to string as many as he can to catch up, because Chris Tam is right now in a very large, significant lead.
For me, I think the hardest thing that Grant would be feeling right now is that pressure on his mentality of catching up the number of points that Chris has in terms of a lead. As I was saying earlier, pool is actually a bit of a mental game that you play with yourself. And I think it's really important for Grant at this stage to remain calm and just approach this logically and not let the pressure get to him too much to affect him in a negative way. So hopefully he can hold that down. He's going to play 14 here.
Just missed that. So now Chris Tam gets another opportunity on the table. So he'll be looking to pot the 15, and right now he's looking at where he wants to leave the cue ball so that he gets the angle he wants to run into the pack after potting the 14 as well. Phew. I think he's just okay. Just okay. Yep, so he'll be re-racking the balls himself to see whether he can continue his run. What does that angle look like, Jenny? Does he have an outside angle?
To be honest, our angle when we commentate is pretty shocking. And we have some statistics here for you. So right now, Grant is on a total of 16 points, and Chris is on a total 51 points. So Chris is in a significant lead here. It's actually quite significant.
He's already past the halfway point.
Remembering that it's a race to 80.
Yep.
So Chris is already on 51.
Oh, okay. Well, Chris played a really good pot there, but it was just unfortunate that the cue ball just stuck to the rack. That's actually one of the worst things that can happen, because it's very awkward cueing, as you can see here. Ooh, that's what happens. Oh, where's the cue? Oh, very, very fortunate. Very fortunate to have left the cue ball hanging over the pocket. As you can see, the left-hand jaw of that bottom right-hand pocket is actually covering the 5 balls, so Grant is unable to use where the cue ball is currently to pot that 5. So he'll either be looking to pot the 13 into the side or playing a safety. Oh, 13 into the side. Well played, well played. Where's the cue ball going? Not in the pockets.
Not in the pocket. Just not in the pocket.
Yes.
This is actually Chris Tam's final semester, actually, so his last chance to win the CueSoc 14.1 competition. I think Grant actually still has another year of university left. I may be incorrect on that, so don't quote me on that. So whoever wins today, I'd be happy for them, because Grant obviously has been in the finals for this before.
Both deserve it. They both deserve it.
Alternatively, if Chris wins it, this would have been his last opportunity to win the CueSoc 14.1, so he obviously deserves it. And for those who aren't actually aware, the CueSoc Q Sports Society is created for students, university students in particular, who love to play pool, snooker, or billiards. So that's the reason why I was saying that this is Chris's last opportunity to win the CueSoc competition, because our events are only open towards university students. Well, the reason why we do that is firstly to give university students a platform to be able to enjoy the game in terms of both the social and competitive side, and to not have too many, I would say, stronger, more experienced players be able to come in, because I think if they did, it'd be really difficult for the university students to really give the game a go. So our activities obviously are catered towards university students. We have social events, lessons, a variety of competitions, as you can see. And if you want to stay updated with CueSoc news, remember to subscribe to our YouTube account for the competitions, but also find us on Facebook. Our Facebook is Q Sports Society. So that's CueSportssociety.
Yep, so on our Facebook page, we will put up all the sign-up links for all our competitions and all our events. So be sure to like it and maybe even favorite it, so that our posts show up first, so you can definitely see it when you open up Facebook, and so you don't miss out on any events you want to participate in.
Yeah.
Oh, a great combo shot by Chris Dam there. Played it very nicely, left himself a 3 after. I think he underhit that a little. Pretty sure I'll be looking to draw that a bit, so he doesn't have that much distance for the 4, but it should be fine for Chris. Perfect. Right, so he'll be looking to give himself a nice angle on the 11, preferably where the cue ball is right now. Actually, is the, I'd say, ideal location for where the cue ball is. Yep, that's around the same angle. So now, Chris Dam with another chance to run a perfect rack.
Yep, that's right.
Playing very well, Chris. Playing very well.
So I think we'll have some updated statistics for you. Chris is on 63 points. Grant is on 18 points. So Chris needs 17 more points or balls to win. So I think the pressure is on.
Pressure is on for Grant now. Yeah. So unfortunate to miss the 11. Left the 3 ball in the bottom right hand pocket here. But no angle to kind of break open the pack, so. Ooh, alright. Interesting. So, another chance for Chris. 3 is just hanging over the pocket. I don't see a way for him to break open the pack though. The angle is a bit too large. So, yeah, not too ideal right now. But he only needs 17 to win, so you just definitely pot as many as you can. Ooh.
Chris is in a good position right now because obviously he's only needs 17 to win, whereas Grant is not on 20 points yet. So Chris can afford to make a few silly mistakes here and there and still be relatively safe. Although that's probably not ideal, but he is in the position to be able to do that, I think. So.
Yep, definitely agree with you there, Jenny.
Definitely wouldn't recommend it.
Oh, that's something you don't want to do. Now, Grant has opened up 5 or 6 balls, and Chris still require 17 to win. So if he pots all of these loose ones, he'll be on 11, and that's less than a rack.
Yeah.
That's considering how Chris Dam's playing. He's averaging like 10, 11, 12 ball runs right now. So he might even finish it right here. That could have been Grant's last shot. Obviously, I'm not saying that, but it's a possibility.
Yeah. And again, I just like to make a bit of a disclaimer. I feel like I always do this every single video, but what you see in these videos here are probably CueSoc's strongest players. And as I mentioned earlier, CueSoc is a society for university students. So our strongest players are probably, if you put them out into a real competitive scene, probably not the strongest, but this is remembering that we're a social society. So for those who are viewing this and who are actually inexperienced players, this is not an accurate representation of most of our members. I feel like most of CueSoc members are very inexperienced at pool, and that's totally fine because that's what we're about. We're about having fun and being social. So if you watch these videos and think, damn, CueSoc's too intense, no. This is not an accurate representation of the CueSoc members. Most of our members are social players. So do not be deterred from coming to competitions or coming to our events because of seeing videos like this which showcase our strongest players like so.
But of course, all our strong players are all very happy to help, give advice. If you ever have any questions, be sure to hit them up.
And that's why the CueSoc community is so great, right? Because I love the CueSoc community, genuinely, really I do, because our strongest players, they're very open, I think, to teaching inexperienced players. So, for example, in the CueSoc League season that just passed that we were talking about earlier, obviously, as I mentioned, Chris Dan was my teammate, and I was obviously on his team as well. But we also recruited a very, very inexperienced player who's improved a lot. No, honestly, she's improved so much over the 8-week season. It was actually Chris's idea to recruit an inexperienced player, and over those 8 weeks, I think Chris has taught her a lot. So I think this is the thing about the community. We're all really willing to learn together and help each other out.
Yeah. So Chris with another opportunity to close out this match. Ooh, nice shot. Doesn't have a very ideal angle to kind of break open the pack right now. So he'll be looking to probably just pot this, and actually he can force it with top. Ooh, there you go. So you broke open the 6 and only the 6. But that's still another point closer to victory. Good attempt, but just a bit unfortunate, I'd say. Rattled out of the pocket. Very close.
Story of my life.
Yeah. Bit unfortunate when you played the 3 and tried to run into the pack.
So you can see Grant here thinking really hard about what to do, because even if he pots the 6, he doesn't really have a next shot. The balls in the middle are all clustered together.
What Grant should be prioritizing is not giving Chris
Yeah.
any easy shots anymore, because considering Chris pretty much only needs, I'd say, less than 10 balls. Yeah, it's very risky for Grant to leave anything for Chris anymore. So Grant would need to take as much time as he can to really try to maximize his opportunity and try to minimize Chris's.
So you can see, I think he's going for a safety, or he wants to go for a safety now.
Interesting to see what he plays here.
What would you do, Kenneth?
Well, I'm not under the same pressure as Grant is right now, honestly. I know how it feels when your opponent is so close to winning, and anything you do might cost you the whole match. So definitely you'll start being a bit more shaky. Your decision making will be you'll start doubting yourself a bit more.
Yeah.
You'll play a lot more passive, but like Jennie said before, it's a definitely mentality game.
Yeah, it's a mental game.
Yeah,
honestly,
so
it's a mental game.
Because it's a turn-based game, you're really playing against yourself.
Yeah.
If you are able to play well and run racks, maintain your strong mentality, be positive about everything, I'm sure everyone can play well. Obviously, it's still a skill-based game, but everyone can work on that.
Yeah. I actually tend to find that, from my experience and from what I've seen in CueSoc over the years, the strongest players have always had the calmest mentalities. So the players who actually end up making it to the final are the players that are able to keep their temper under control, or just their...
Well, where's the cue ball going?
Oh no!
So
Damn, Devs. Devastating.
Chris Dam pots the 15. Respot. But fouls. So instead of gaining the point, he loses the point. So very, very unfortunate for Chris Dam there. But what a pot that was, though.
Yeah.
What a cut. Yep, so if the head spot, as you can see, is being blocked by a ball, what happens is you will respot the ball directly in the line behind it, as close as you can. So as you can see, it was placed right behind the 2 ball.
That was a nice shot.
Very nice shot by Grant. Broke it up nicely. So an opportunity to try to catch up. Very difficult though, I'll have to say. Very difficult.
Because the statistics are not in Grant's favour at the moment. He's actually quite far behind. But having said that, I believe anything can happen. Anything can happen.
And just as we say that, Chris Dam nods his head in agreement. He believes in Grant too.
Yeah.
Great shot. Ooh, unlucky. I'm pretty sure he has the 7 in the side. Shouldn't be a problem. And he can just roll up for the 1 ball. Not too fussed. Nice shot.
Pretty much exactly what he did. Right up for the 1.
Is he straight?
not
Should be
really.
fine.
He's
He
got
can
a
roll
little
up for the
bit of
5.
angle. Yeah.
And he can use the 5 to either come up behind the 15 and 2 because it goes to the left hand pocket, or you can run into it, just like so. Perfect. Great shot. 2 options. You can play the 2 or the 15, but definitely the 15 because the 2 ball is the best ball to be used to break open the pack. Very interesting. Grant's actually going for 2. That's not an angle you want to leave yourself to break open the pack. But nevertheless, let's see how it goes. Got to understand that Grant was under a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
So
I think when you're playing under a lot of pressure, your judgment in terms of pattern play becomes a little bit impaired because I think, like you said earlier, kind of you start doubting yourself, so you just play the safest shots that you can think of, shots where you can guarantee some points, I think. So let's see how Grant plans to break this out. Do you think he'll go for a safety break
I
here?
think he's going for a safety. Oh, where's the cue ball going? Oh,
no,
very unfortunate.
Grant.
It's a respot, so just rack it up. Just rack it.
Re-rack it.
Just re-rack it.
Chris, just re-rack it.
Just re-rack it. So, very funny situation here. Because Grant fouled on that shot, the 15 is supposed to be re-racked. Re-spotted, sorry. And because the rack was just re-racked, it's actually just a fresh rack.
Yeah, pretty much. Looks like an 8-ball.
With the ball in hand, though.
Yeah,
So
looks like
very
an 8-ball rack, but not really because the 8-ball isn't in the middle area.
It's ball in hand. So, very interesting shot for Chris here. I think he'll be looking to just
A safety break.
lightly knock it in and get a good safety shot.
I feel like Chris would be particularly good at those kind of breaks, soft breaks, because he plays snooker quite a bit. Although every single time I play snooker with Chris, he doesn't necessarily safety break me because he knows I can't run anything out anyway. So Grant here went for a bit of a safety shot as well. But I feel like the 11 is makeable. We've got some stats.
Yep, so Chris only requires 14 balls to win. So that's basically a whole rack. Ooh, alright, well.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind.
So,
So
very unfortunate.
just
It was
in
a great
terms of
shot,
the numbers, Chris is on 66 and Grant is on 20.
Well, 67 now. because he
Yeah.
just spotted the 11.
True, 67 now, and Grant is on 28. So a lot of pressure there for Grant. Chris is almost there.
Yep, so he'll be looking to play another safety here, not give Grant a chance to catch back up.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure Chris is also feeling a bit of the pressure now,
Yeah.
because he's so close to actually winning the match here and closing it up.
Yeah.
Great shot by Grant though. Leaves himself perfect on the 10. He'll be looking to deep screw this back into the pack. Ooh.
Well, he did it, but the rack didn't move very much.
Yeah.
Like we were saying earlier, I think for straight pull, most of the hard shots are played when they're trying to break open the
Yeah.
rack, and I don't think they had enough strength in that deep screw.
Because when you play to break open the pack, nothing goes. Nothing is is planned. How the rack breaks open.
Yeah.
You just want to hit it as full as you can and as hard as you can to try to spread it out as much as you can, so you have more options
Yeah.
and chances for balls to actually be spread out and not clustered together. So they'll at least go into a pocket
Yeah.
on the table. 6 pockets on the table, at least it can go in one.
Well, you'd hope.
Yeah, you'd hope.
So Grant here is, I think, looking at his options. So I think he got out the rest so he could play
The 13 ball.
13 ball. Yeah.
He was looking at the 14 just then, but
I think he's trying to think how he can leave himself the 14. But I think, again, our angle is terrible.
I can't tell whether the 14 goes or not. But the way he's looking at it,
I feel like it might just.
Just might, yeah. So he's
It
playing the
just
14
might.
now. Very good angle to go into the run into pack right now. Very nice shot. Ooh, unfortunate. The only shot he has now is 12 into the middle, and that's a very risky shot. Because it's not a guaranteed pot, and if he does miss, Chris has another chance on the table, and Chris only has 15 balls left to go, which is exactly one whole rack.
Good shot,
great
Grant.
shot. Yep, so Grant will need to be cautious that he doesn't make any silly mistakes. Yep, so an update, Chris Dam only requires 13 balls, and Grant is currently on 30. So 50 balls left for Grant to pop.
It's a tough number. 50 balls is a lot.
That's a lot of balls. Oh, great shot. Broke it up nicely. Shot on the 1 and on the 2. And both balls naturally just run into the 7 and the 9 as well, so great shot. Shot. Controlled that nicely for the 2. Ooh. So what he did there was he tried to kind of screw it into the 6 and 15 pack. Bit unfortunate, just missed it by a tiny bit. So does the 9 go is the question. Right, so we'll be playing a safety. Oh, no, never mind. Oh, unlucky.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So
That
the
was a
5
really
ball
risky
will be
play.
respotted. The 5 ball will be respotted.
The 5 ball will be respotted.
Yep. So now an opportunity for Chris Dam to pot these 4 remaining balls, re-rack, and try to
Pot
take
them
the
all.
win. Shot.
Oh, beautiful. I'd be happy for Chris if he won this one. Just like I said earlier, his last semester.
Deserves it.
He deserves it,
Oh,
yeah.
what a shot. Played
It
that
is.
very well.
Yeah, he's been playing amazingly lately as well.
Yeah, good on Chris.
Yeah. And actually, Chris and I have been like best friends for a really long time, so would also root for him because of that too.
Nice shot. Right, so he'll be looking to leave the 6 as the final ball because the 5 is actually in the way of the rack. So if he does respot with the 5 there, re-rack, it will just be like a full rack. Something you don't want, especially if you want to continue to run. Unfortunately though, he didn't leave himself with quite the angle on the 6 here.
Yeah.
Bit too straight, so I don't see an opportunity to kind of finish up the match here. We'll probably just try to pot this and maybe play a safety like the one he played last rack.
Yeah.
Oh, he tried. It was a very good effort, but obviously it was very difficult. So that will bring Chris on 72 points. And so
Damn.
8 balls remaining for the win. And Grant is currently on 36.
So Chris has got
Oh,
really
shot.
a significant
Shot.
lead.
So as you can see, Chris played a very wonderful shot there as he left the cue ball tight on the cushion. And I'm sure most of you guys know when a ball is close to the cushion, it's actually very, very tough to shoot straight. So well done to Grant
For making that beautiful
beautiful
long shot
Yeah.
as well. And leaving himself position on the 7. Oh. And just for the 13.
Yep, perfect on the 13. Yeah, very unfortunate. Definitely tried to key out as many balls as you can. Didn't quite get there.
Yeah. So I actually think Grant is actually quite good at this game, but at the beginning of the match, I think he was a little bit unfortunate because he made quite a few
Crucial mistakes.
Yeah, crucial mistakes at the very beginning of the match, which cost him, especially against a player like Chris Dam, who can just run consecutive balls relatively comfortably.
Oh, what a shot! Great shot.
But obviously, from watching Grant play, you can tell that he's good at this. He just got a bit unfortunate during
Yeah.
this match.
Ooh.
But having said all that, like obviously Grant can still come back, right?
Yeah, of
It's still
course.
possible for Chris, although he's only got 8 balls left, Chris only has 8 balls left, but it's still possible for Chris to absolutely make some terrible mistakes and for Grant to just keep running. I mean, the world record for the highest run was 526 consecutive balls, so maybe
Yeah, Grant.
it's possible. Like it's,
Time for
believe in yourself.
time for a 44 ball run, Grant.
Look, you just got to start from believing. I feel like at this point, because Chris is so close to winning, we should start counting down how many balls he needs left.
So he just potted. So he should be on 73 right now. So 73, so 7 more balls, and he will take the title of the CueSoc 14.1 2017 semester 2 champion. Good attempt.
Good attempt.
Unfortunate to scratch there, so that will bring him back to 72 again, so he will need to pot another 8 balls.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you're in these closing stages, you want to try to not scratch as much as you can, because not only are you giving your opponent a chance to catch back up, but you're also, subtracting the amount of ball, or adding on to the amount of balls you need to pot extra. So as we said before, one ball can just mean winning or losing. So very crucial that Chris, although he's playing aggressive, to try to minimize those mistakes.
Because again, like we said earlier, it's very possible for Grant to make a 44 ball run.
Oh.
Okay.
Well,
Here we go.
right, so pretty open table, I'd say, and Chris Dam requires 8 balls. So Chris just turned around to Will, the person who's keeping track of the score for us, to ask him and inquire how many balls he requires left. So there's actually exactly 8 balls on the table just then, including that 11 that he just potted. So he'll just need to clear out everything and he'll win. Right, 6 to go.
This kind of almost feels like I don't know. This is like completely not correlated at all, but for some reason it's reminding me of like a New Year's Eve countdown. We count down to 5 to go.
5 to go. Four to go. Great shot. Very nicely played. Perfect on the 1 ball. He'll just want to drop the 1 ball in for the 15.
Another more positive news, once Chris Dam graduates at the end of this year, he'll be ineligible to play CueSoc competitions. So
Great shot.
3 to go. So that would obviously, if he's gone,
Playing this perfectly. He's very ideally placed for the 15. He could just stun this for 10. Great shot. Right, so he'll be looking to control the cue ball well here, because actually when he pots this, he'll need to re-rack it. Yep, so we will re-rack from here. And whether he actually has a shot or not is the question.
but he only needs 1 more ball to win.
Yep, so this is for the match.
This is for the match.
Yep, so he'll definitely be looking to pot the 8,
Yeah.
because the rack is too unpredictable. He can't guarantee that he'll call the right ball or pocket it in the right pocket. So here we go.
Here we
Chris
go.
Dam
Chris Dam.
with a chance to take the title right here, right now.
I'm a little bit nervous for him, but I also feel like he's got this in a way.
Alright, here we go. For
It
the
would be
match.
funny if he fouls right now and goes back to needing 2 balls on the...
Did anyone see that? Am I the only one that saw that? Yes, bit shaky, I believe.
Oh, he is a bit shaky.
And there we go. Congratulations to Chris Dam.
Congratulations, Christopher Dam, winning the CueSoc Semester 2 2017 14.1
straight pool
competition.
competition.
Congrats.
Congratulations. The final score is 80 to 40.